I came out and I'm like, oh my gosh, we killed them all. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are all staying cool in this nice heat.
Nice.
It has been super hot and crazy dry here. This is not normal for us.
No, it's been so hot. I feel like everybody in our family has a little bit of issues lately with dehydration. So make sure you're staying hydrated out there. We're definitely trying our best.
Yeah. Let's go take a look at the garden. So as you know, we've been having issues with the 3-line potato coming in and just going after our cucumbers. So what we did to fix that is we sprayed it with that, what is it called, Sarah?
Spinoside?
Yes, and we came in and sprayed it and it did wonders. It did good. And then we came back and sprayed with Dr. Bronner's. We were using this squirt bottle, and what we found is when you're spraying upright, it does a nice mist. Then when you go upside down, it does more of a squirt and it comes out thicker. Well, the other day when we came out, I came out and I'm like, oh my gosh, we killed them all. Oh my gosh. Well, turns out we didn't kill them, we stunted them. But what we did is when we were squirting like that, you'd go upside down, and when you came back up, it would do a stream, and that stream of suds kind of stayed on the leaf and dried because it was so warm out too. So to fix that, you're going to be using this sprayer now in the future, because you can turn this one upside down and it doesn't stop because it's pressurized. So thankfully they're doing a comeback and they're beating it and growing still, because every day we're coming out and we have to still adjust them because they're still sending out new fingers and growing like crazy.
We've been harvesting so much broccoli this year, which you would think that it is just way too hot for it. And I do think that the broccoli itself was almost a little bit bitter when we ate it raw, but we really like it cooked. But I was looking at our plants, I thought we didn't have any cauliflower, and we've got some cauliflower heads just starting on some of these, so that's really exciting. So our zucchini, I sprayed those in the same fashion, and we have the same issues going on with our zucchini. But we've got our first zucchini fruits on here. Fruits? Yes. We haven't actually picked any zucchini yet, which is kind of crazy, but don't worry, I'm sure we will get our fill before summer's end.
So it is July 26th, and this sunflower is just still growing tall. It's not even forming a head yet. So I'm wondering how tall it's gonna get this year. And look at, we got more sunflowers now that have heads on them. This is awesome. The bees are loving them. And we have actually had a really tough year for the bees, and there hasn't been any pollen lately. So they have been all over these and just bringing in pollen baskets to the hives. It's been really cool.
So we've had cherry tomatoes ready and we've been eating them for a little over a week or so, but we picked our first red tomato yesterday. As you can see, we've got lots of tomatoes that are blushing now, and it won't be long before we are having those big, huge tomato harvests that we have to take care of.
So our potatoes aren't doing so well. I actually dug up 2 of them on the end this morning, and the 2 that I dug up had potatoes that were about this big. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna have much of a harvest with our potatoes this year, but it's also been dry and I didn't have the drip tape over here. So I think if I'd had drip tape just this year, because it's been so dry, it probably would have helped, or put a sprinkler on. I should have watered, and I think would have been better, but we didn't. So I don't know, I really don't think we're gonna have much of a harvest.
So our pepper plants, some of them still a little bit smaller, the ones mostly in the shade here, but we have peppers on so many plants. I am almost a little bit overwhelmed by how many peppers I think we're gonna end up with this year. But I think regardless of how many, most of these are bell peppers, so I think regardless of how many peppers we have, just getting those chopped up and in the freezer, it will be really nice to have throughout the year. So I am really excited to see all these coming in.
You can see the peppers. I did the spray, and it was 2 times since we did the last video, and I sprayed these with that spray, and they have turned green now. They're not a yellow anymore, so it's been helping. And then Sarah added extra fertilizer yesterday to see if that'll help. That was spilt over from the bag. Look at this. We've never had tomato plants that were, like, we would have 1 or 2 a year that would be over my head. And this one's got to be 6 foot tall, and same with this one over here. This is crazy. There's another one, there's another one. Here's another one behind me. We've never had them this tall before.
Got some sunflowers taking a little nap on top of our green beans, but our green beans are under here, and we've been picking off of them for the last week or so. I planted 1 package here, and I think I learned my lesson that minimum I need to plant 2 packages of beans at a time to get enough to can, because it hasn't been quite enough. Ooh. I was just out here last night picking, and I think we might have missed this one. So lots of beans here. What I did, since I don't think we're gonna have enough to be able to can right now, is I did something over here. I came out last night when it was a little bit cooler than it has been during the day, and I planted 2.5 packages of the Contender bush beans. They're a 50-day green bean variety, and I think we're gonna have enough time to grow some of those here. I actually made sure to soak them first for a little bit just to give them a little head start, and then I made sure the drip tape was on top of them, so hopefully this hot weather gets them growing and we do have another harvest of bush beans. I'm a little bit nervous because I think what's going to happen is they're going to do really well, and they're all going to come in and be ready for canning at the exact same time as all of our tomatoes and everything else.
Well, I really think the tomatoes, when you look down the way right here, I really think it's the drip tape. All the water they can get because we plant them so close.
Yeah, I think the water is a huge help.
Fertilizing is also, I think next year for the onions, I think we're gonna have to do something with the fertilizer to get them to pop more, like get bigger bulbs because they're heavy feeders. So we have to figure something out with them.
I think you're right. And I think we have a lot of work to do on figuring out onions. But I feel like tomatoes are doing well. We haven't been pruning as much, so I think the shade from the other leaves is helping protect them, but they're not too shaded where they're getting diseases or anything either, so it's been good.
You know what the best thing about gardening is? Every year you learn something and you get better the next year.
It's true. It's true. Although I would say, other than last year and this year, we have never had an issue with cucumbers before. I think we didn't realize that we were doing cucumbers right, and now we're not doing it right. Like, what did we do before?
I'm blaming it all on the tomatillos.
Oh yeah, let's blame those tomatillos. Those are no good.
Did you know, I don't know if I could find a picture, I'll try. But did you know that when we bought this house 10 years ago? No, 11 years ago. It'll be 11 this year.
Yeah.
We had a garden over there by that walnut tree, and it was just the same size as that sandbox. That's how we started. And my family has been big gardeners, so it really didn't matter. We always went over there and helped them can and stuff, and then we just kept growing. We kept bringing it over here. We wanted to get away from the field because the farmer was spraying, and yeah, just crazy how much you grow and you learn and you keep doing better every year.
I'm thinking of the pictures I have. We always had one arch, but we always had it over here.
Yeah.
And I have a very pretty picture with stuff going at least most of the way up the arch, and the chickens running around in the background. I mean, there's some cool stuff. I really want these cucumbers to grow, but you know what? Next year they will.
Well, I hope you guys liked the tour. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see some more. Glad you got to see us again.
Bye.
Bye.